Here is the first chapter of Beneath the Frosted Red Veil. Yes, I use an AI voice because I am lazy, and I might end up animating this later, but for now just turn on captions and read them if you need help with the words, and just listen. Yay.
Beneath the Frosted Red Veil. Chapter 1. The bus came to a halt with a screech. Here we go again, Ivy thought as she climbed up the stairs. The bus was empty. She was the first stop, just like every other time. She went to the back of the bus and opened the overhead storage while lifting her small, yet heavy, suitcase into the slot. Her backpack on the other hand sat beside her. She needed it if she was going to survive this 5-hour-long drive out into the middle of nowhere, and plus she sat alone so there was enough room for her and her bag. She plopped down and pulled out her phone along with her AirPods. Although the bus was silent right now, in a couple of minutes there was going to be more students on the bus all shouting at each other trying to get attention. Her best friend wasn't going to be on the bus for another good 20 minutes, so she connected her AirPods to her phone and pumped the volume all the way up. Loud music was one of the reasons she loved the long bus ride. She could just be in her own little world. A world where no one needed anything from her and she could just do her own thing. A world where she could just sit and look out the frosted glass windows of the bus while twirling her short black hair without disruption. Oh, what a wonderful world that is. After 26-ish minutes or so she saw a familiar face board the bus, Lukiya. Finally, the snowstorm had made us almost 7 minutes late. Lukiya took the backseat next to her, putting her suitcase into the overhead storage while Ivy turned down her volume and took an earbud out. "Hi," Lukiya said cheerfully. "Hey," replied Ivy. This whole boarding school over Christmas break thing is stupid," Lukiya whined. "Yeah, I know, right," said Ivy. The school they went to was particularly wealthy, so they had a program where if you didn't have anyone to watch your kids over winter break, you would send them to the school's extra campus where they would be supervised properly and only have to pay the low fee of $200. Great deal, I know. You get private time to yourself and your kid gets to be forced into social interactions with classmates. Yay. And it's super safe with huge thick walls around the property, so then your kid can't run away either. Whole package if you ask me. Lukiya and Ivy chatted as the bus drove on. After what felt like ages they finally saw the school peeking out from the dense forest they were in. Why would you put a school here? It's at least an hour from all the towns and is in the middle of a huge forest. That's just stupid. The two buses came around the loop and parked themselves to let students off. The school had gotten the mini coach buses because 1, the gas would cost less, and 2, they wanted some extra cash for their scones and tea. Each bus had 10 students on them, equaling up to 20 students. Lukiya and Ivy took their stuff down from the overhead storage and got off the bus. They were the last ones off, and as they dismounted they could hear the quiet groan of the bus driver going up finally before closing the door. They giggled at that for a second, but their attention was pulled away at the sound of a familiar voice. "Lukiya, Ivy, hey over here." It was Lizzie. Lizzie ran over with their other friend Ash following close behind her. Hi, I missed you guys." You could hear the excitement in Lizzie's voice. "Hey, missed you guys too," Lukiya and Ivy replied together. "This place is in a weird location," Ash said quietly. "Yeah, it's weird," Ivy said. They looked over and saw everyone starting to head to the gates. "Looks like we're going," Lukiya said before starting to walk over to where everyone was gathered. It was silent. Everyone peered up at the huge walls that towered over them in contrast to the normal-sized door. "I'm tired of waiting," a voice spoke out as they started to walk to the door. A voice that made both Lukiya and Ivy tense. It was Mori's voice. Mori went over and knocked on the door violently. "Hello? Anyone in there? It's cold out here. Let us in," she asked in a demanding tone. A few seconds passed with no response. Then you could hear a beeping noise of someone putting in a code to the door. A man in his late 30s slowly opened the door. "Oh, I was hoping you guys wouldn't show," he said in a tired voice. He held the door open and let everybody inside. Then the door closed with a loud slam that made some people jump. "Well, welcome back to school, I guess," he said with a sigh.
Thank you so much for listening the entire way through. Let me know what you think.